Good morning, everyone. It is another Friday and another episode with Rima Talk Live. We are leaving it real every single Friday, bringing amazing individuals to the show from the community, from the real estate community, from other communities as well. And today I am so happy and proud to have a good friend of mine that we've met almost 5 years ago, I would say 4.5 years ago, in a Keller Williams family reunion, the annual convention. And we stayed in touch. We became good friends, and we always talk to each other, refer each other business and mastermind, and just throw great ideas. And he's been an amazing individual in my life. Lance Sherman, thank you so much for being with us this morning. I do know who you are. I know you are awesome. But if you go ahead and introduce yourself and let us know a little bit about you.
Rima, thank you so much for inviting me on today.
You're so welcome.
I'm proud of you and everything you do in your business. You're amazing.
Oh, thank you, thank you. We are all amazing, and we can be all amazing together. That's what it's all about.
You inspire me every day.
Thank you. So tell me, Lance, like a little bit about your background, how long you've been in business, like how it all started with you. Because everybody sees what's here. Nobody knows where we started. So go ahead and take it from there, honey.
I was born in New York City in the late 70s and came to Las Vegas in July of 2000. So I've been in Vegas now 21 years. My original study was in dance, believe it or not. Not everyone knows that. I went to the High School for Performing Arts in New York City, and then I went on to Juilliard in Manhattan. And my dance career brought me to Las Vegas in July of 2000. I did several shows on the Strip as a performer, modern dance, jazz, hip hop. And then the highlight of my dance career was working with Celine Dion in 2002. Yeah. Oh, maybe I haven't shared this with you. I don't share it with everyone. 2002 to 2004, I was with Celine Dion. Due to injury, I left my dance career and moved on to a career in the nightclub business. I love networking. Even when I was in the show with Celine, before Facebook, I'm aging myself a little bit, I would go backstage to all the shows on the Strip, and I would hang posters for events and parties that I was organizing because I wanted to network and meet all the performers on the Strip and build a local community here. So I've always been driven to bring people together from early on and when I first came to Vegas. So I started doing some events, and then when I transitioned from my dance career, some of the nightclub owners had known that I was already doing event planning. So they invited me to host parties on the Strip, and that moved me into the nightclub business. I became a club promoter and host, and I built up a nice database of both local and people from all around the world. And I hosted celebrities and all types of fun people. It was later on in life when my wife was pregnant about 5 years ago. She was pregnant and watching a lot of HGTV and a light bulb went off. And I said, how can I not stay out in these clubs all night long hosting people? I wasn't drinking at this point. I'd stopped that a long time ago. But just being out late till 4 a.m. and back out at these pool parties on the Strip at 10, 11 a.m. I wanted to be there with my family when my son was born. And the real estate light bulb went off, and it's been a great, great journey so far. 4.5, 5 years now in the business, and I'm loving it.
So, Lance, since you haven't, less than 5 years, I consider you still fairly new comparing to me. I'm going on 15 years. Tell me kind of like, how was it starting? Like, what challenges did you face when you started, especially with real estate? Like, did you hit it off right away? Did you start having clients? Or how did it feel like for a brand new agent starting at that time?
For me, because if I remember I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, Rima. So I was fortunate that my first year in the business, I still had my own VIP concierge business. I wasn't no longer working for the clubs, but I was an independent host, taking people to all the different venues on the Strip. So I continued to do that during my first year, and I still do it a little bit today. But during my first year, I was full-time host and part-time agent. I was going to as many classes as I could, but I had the luxury of having another income. So I know for some agents, it's great to jump in with 2 feet. And if I had to do it over, maybe I would have. But for me, I wanted to be a perfectionist. I wanted to go to every broker class I could. I wanted to understand every contract backwards and forwards. I wanted to know that I could, if my friends were going to hire me, that it wasn't just because they liked me as a person, because I could do one of the best jobs for them of any other agent in the city. So my first year, believe it or not, I only did, I think, 4 deals. And I was going to every single class I could. They say real estate school teaches you what not to do. And then, your brokerage teaches you what to do. And I was fortunate that we had tons of classes, Ignite, Bold, seminars, broker classes. I just dove in and really loved the learning process of it.
So when you started, were you still operating the other businesses that you have? Are they still existing?
They are existing. They got shut down for COVID. So I'm even more grateful that I got into real estate when I did, because it gave me 4 or 5 years to get some momentum. Because if all I was doing was nightclubs and day clubs last year, it would have been a really, really rough year. I may have called you and borrowed some money, Rima. The strip was shut down for almost a year, as we know.
Oh yes, it's been tough for a lot of people, a lot of businesses.
My city is resilient. Las Vegas is resilient. We're bouncing back quick. June 1st, the governor just announced that we're going to 100% back to the pre-pandemic rules, and the city, the hotels are booking up fast, really fast for the summer.
Nice. Speaking of COVID and what happened to you, what did you see the difference? Like every state was different with the rules, regulations, the restrictions, how to show, how to not show. Like would you say your biggest challenge through COVID, even though you killed it last year as an individual?
Last year was my best year yet, and I'm fortunate. The biggest challenge, I think, because I love being in person, I do open houses, and for the first couple of months, we couldn't do that. I had to transition, as many agents did, to Zoom, which I will now keep in my business. I think it's a great tool. FaceTime, Zoom, Skype, whatever you like as your video platform. I can consult buyers from out of town before they get here, and we can really get to know each other and help them with their search. So the Zoom was a great tool. As far as challenges, I think not being in person, dealing with the fear that a lot of my SOI was going through, and being an advisor. A lot of my first few phone calls in the beginning of COVID were, Lance, I think I better sell my house and rent for a year. What do you think is going to happen? And as you know, Rima, we can't really predict the future. So, for a lot of my friends, I followed their lead. We sold their house. We got them a rental. And now looking back a year later, son of a gun, their house went up 10, 15%, but nobody knew. And a lot of people, especially because Vegas got hit the hardest before I got in this industry, but back, I was still living here, 2005, 2006, 7, 8.
Right.
Vegas got hit the hardest. So a lot of my friends, they got beat up back then. They didn't want to risk it. So a lot of my first few clients in the beginning of COVID were listings of restaurant industry, nightclub industry, people that work on the strip. They took the safe route, they sold, and they rented for a year. And now they're debating entering back into the market.
And what do you, as far as the market and Las Vegas in general, what do you see happening? Like there is some changes happening in our area as far as inventory. Of course, inventory is slow everywhere. It's crazy with multiple offers and all that stuff that we're seeing over the news and on social media. It's definitely a seller's market, and the sellers are on the driver's seat right now. But do you see any changes happening as far as increasing inventory, maybe slowly, anything of that nature, new builders building more homes? What's happening in your Vegas?
Unfortunately, I wish I had better news. The inventory is super, super low. We've been tracking it in my office every week, and we are down to single-family detached homes, not including townhouses or condos. We're sitting right at around 2,000 homes on the market. When I got into this business, it was 6,000 to 10,000 homes. So we are super low on inventory. The new construction is still moving along. However, as you know, I'm sure the same in California, lumber costs and production costs are through the roof. So they are raising their prices as well. And the market seems to be going up 1 to 2% almost a month. Everyone was kind of waiting for the eviction moratorium to maybe loosen up some inventory. But I think a lot of those people that were out of work are getting back to work, and being with the strip booming, they're able to catch up on their rent, or they're going to keep paying rent. I don't think we're going to see a big influx in inventory in the next year or so.
And you still, like, of course, you have multiple offers on your properties. Where are your buyers coming from in general? I mean, before we got on, you mentioned you have lots of buyers coming from California.
Yes, that's a great question, Rima. California is our #1 feeder market to Las Vegas, mostly because of the state income taxes. We're also seeing people come in from Hawaii. They call Las Vegas the 9th island, believe it or not. We have a big Hawaiian population here in Las Vegas, and Hawaii is super expensive, as you know. So we are seeing people come in from there. One that kind of caught me by surprise, which I do have referral partners there as well, is Chicago, Illinois. We're getting a lot of people coming in from Chicago to get out of the cold.
Wow.
Yeah, but California, #1, the top 3 cities that are feeding into Vegas are coming from California.
So do you believe just because of the taxes, or?
It's the taxes and also the affordability, Rima. What you get for $700,000-800,000 in California is a luxury home in Las Vegas. Our luxury price point, believe it or not, according to the Institute for Luxury Home Marketing, starts at $575,000. According to Keller Williams Luxury, $700,000. So if you can get a luxury home, if you can trade your average home for a luxury home and avoid some of the taxes, we're a big value add for a lot of people. Those clients that maybe are not living right on the beach. You know, I talk to my California buyers. If you live right on the beach, I don't think I could leave either. But if you live 20 minutes or an hour from the beach, like, we're a 45-minute flight to California. You know? So we're getting a lot of people from California, and they're keeping our price points up and our demand high as well.
Are you getting investors coming to Vegas and investing?
A lot of my investor clients were already investing before the pandemic. My #1 client owns, believe it or not, 400 properties, mostly condos, 200 in California and approximately 200 in Las Vegas. And they're slowly moving their portfolio this way.
Good. Awesome. And I know you just started and you have a deal or two going on in the commercial world, which is, congratulations on that. That's exciting.
Yes, so I'm slowly getting my feet wet in the commercial world.
You'll get there. You'll get there.
But like I said before, I'm a bit of a perfectionist. So until I know the ins and outs, I have a team of people I work closely with here in Las Vegas, and of course, I work with you in the California market.
Nice. And what do you see on the commercial side? What's really moving more than the other? What affected through COVID more than other, like apartment buildings, retail?
I'm seeing demand for warehouses. A lot of the people coming from Silicon Valley. One of my clients is in the e-commerce business. He moved his warehouse from the Bay Area to Las Vegas in the north part of town near the Speedway, and he's bringing his employees this way. Some will still work remotely. But e-commerce is a big one. But also what some of the California people don't maybe realize is a lot of their bosses are saying they can work remotely. So some of those light bulbs are going off, and they're saying, I'll work remotely my California job from a lower income state tax state. And we're getting people come from California, but still working in California. I don't know how that's going to work for taxes. Consult your CPA. But we are seeing people work remotely from home.
Awesome. And is that how many transactions you've done as far as commercial?
Commercial, I've been referring everything out. Right now is the first one that I'm kind of being involved in more hands-on, and I'm working with a team of 3 agents. But most of my referral business has been referred out to a team of agents that I work with here locally. Okay.
And let me tell you, I've asked this question because there's a story that I always share with a lot of people on my end. And I was like you, when the first commercial client came to me, it's just like, oh, I'll refer you out. And when I decided to because I didn't know what I was doing at that time, and I did not want to like mess it up. So I was referring my business out till one client is like, would really want to work with you. And they kind of pushed me to kind of get into the commercial world. And it was the best thing that ever happened in my career. So that's what I tell my agents, don't overthink it, because we tend to overthink stuff and we lose out on a lot of opportunities. So that's why I mentioned that.
My focus actually, Rima, though, is more luxury residential. If I could pick and choose, luxury residential is kind of where I'm more focused right now.
So are you doing a lot of luxury more than the...
It's slowly building. I've had 2 luxury sales in the last year. Both were buyers. One was 930,000. One was $1 million. Those buyers will eventually become listings down the road. And my luxury book of business, you know, with 2 or 3 luxury deals a year, in 4 or 5 more years, I'll be doing quite a bit of luxury.
I always say you're buyers now that you're future sellers.
Exactly, for sure.
So let me ask you a little bit. You have a beautiful family. You have a son.
I could not do what I do without my wife. I want to give a shout out to Janine. She runs the house. She runs everything, you know, behind the scenes. I don't know how you do it, Rima, but without my support, I couldn't do as much as I do. I work 5 to 6 days a week, usually 8 or 9 hours a day. And she just keeps everything together for us.
Is she in real estate as well?
She got her real estate license, and she's not using it yet. But when our son goes to school full time, we will look, and as I grow a team, potentially, we'll look at bringing her more on the business side. But she loves to do the home searches, and sometimes she finds the homes for the buyers as well.
So what do you do, guys, or you're by yourself as an individual, for a hobby?
What do we do for fun? We like dining. We like movies. Now that we can slowly start doing it again.
Of course you like dining. You're in Vegas. You have to like dining.
Yeah. Our dining is amazing, and people don't realize that we have more than just the Strip. I think a lot of people think of Vegas, they think of the Strip. When I moved here 20 years ago, it was maybe 15, 20 minutes to get from one end of the city to the other. Now it's still small. It's like 35, 40 minutes. You can get from the Northwest Sky Canyon, where I live, all the way to Lake Las Vegas, which is on the far east side of town, maybe 35, 40 minutes, which is probably like a normal commute for you guys. But that's far for people in Vegas. That's kind of far. That's really far.
Right.
I may have forgot. What was the last question, Rima? I lost you there.
Just what do you do
for fun? Yeah, I mean, shows, dining. We like to travel as well. We like to go to Texas. We like the Gulf Coast. The beach is there. We occasionally go to California. And we took a trip to Hawaii recently, which was beautiful.
Yeah, I saw your pictures. That was amazing.
And then my wife is from Germany, so I promised her dad when I married her that every Christmas I would have her home for Christmas. And I think he'll forgive me that this year we couldn't travel. But I would say at least 5 out of the last 7 holiday seasons we made it to Germany, and we love visiting our family and friends in Germany.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And my family in New York. We get to New York as well.
So your family's still in New York?
Yeah, my mom is in Brooklyn, my sister in Staten Island, and my father retired in New Jersey. So they're all in the snow there, and I'm wishing and waiting for them to come west. But they're very happy where they are.
That's going back to a little bit of business. What's your kind of schedule like, and where do you get your business? Are you cold calling? Are you circle prospecting, referral? Just tell us a little bit about how.
I would say my number one source of business is my SOI, sphere of influence. Being here for 20, 21 years, I built up a big network. I've always come from contribution in the nightclub and pool party business. I hosted so many people's birthdays, bachelor parties, bachelorette parties, that I built up a big network of people that know, love, and like and trust me. I don't know if they love me. Hopefully they love me. But as you know, in real estate, that's a big part of it. SOI is number one. I would say it's complemented by social media. I don't really go to get new leads on social media, but I like to stay top of mind with my people through social media. Number two for me is probably agent referrals. Coming from California, Chicago, New York, wherever it may be. And I'm slowly building up my network. If people need referrals, I have built a network now of many cities, Texas, you name it. And I love building my network and referring agents business and give to, I refer would be my number two. And number three for me is open houses. I really, maybe because I am a host by nature and a performer, that I like being in front of people. I like them to meet me and see if they want to work with me. And it's a two-way street. And then I can decide if I think I'm a good fit to work with them. And it's kind of a dual interview at the open house. And I've gotten, I would say 20 or 30% of my business from open houses.
Nice. And speaking of all the resources of bringing business, if someone's starting new today, actually, California just opened us for open houses. We're still restricted of what we can do with our open houses, but I'm so happy to see that coming, especially for new agents. But in your opinion, what would you say the most effective and the cheapest way right now for a brand new agent to generate business? What do you say they should go after today?
That is a great question. I would say B2B, business to business referrals for a newer agent. You have someone that cuts your hair. You have someone that cuts your nails or does your nails. You have someone that works on your car. Everyone in your network that you give money to, don't be afraid to ask them for a referral. You have to build up your network. And if you're already giving these people business, you have their attention. They have to listen to you. If you're getting your hair done for 20 minutes, they have to listen to you talk about real estate. And you can ask them for a referral, and don't be afraid. And if after 6 months or a year, you're not getting any business from someone that you're giving a lot of business, unless they're the number one practitioner in their area for the world, you move on and you find someone else. And it's just the way it is. In the last 6 months, I've gotten a referral from my lender, from my accountant, and quite a few other business-to-business referrals. And I love to build up my business network.
Nice.
My insurance agent, if you're listening, I've sent you a few referrals. I'm waiting for one.
Isn't that the truth? I hope mine is listening too. So what would you say your biggest contributor for your success? My biggest what? Contributor for your success.
That's a good question. I would say my hunger, my desire, my confidence. I can't accept failure. I wanted to be a dancer. I made it to Celine Dion. I wanted to be in the nightclub business, and I helped open big mega clubs, Wet Republic, some of these venues that are still doing good business today. So when I got into real estate, failure was not an option. It's a Vegas term, but you go all in. Even though I was a little slow to get started, I knew I was going all in. I knew this would be a 5, 10, 20, 30-year journey. And I think branding yourself is very important in the very beginning. Getting your logo done and branding yourself. I think don't just hop into a brokerage right away. When I got started, I interviewed with 8 or 9 brokerages because I knew I didn't want to just spend 6 months there. I think it's very important, especially in your first decision as a new agent. Interview a lot of brokerages and see where you're the best fit, the best training, whatever's most important to you. Hopefully it's not the closest one to your house, because that's kind of lazy. But wherever you're going to get the most value, spend the time and the effort researching the industry and the brokerages, and then make a commitment. Maybe it's 2 years or 4 years, but make a commitment in your own head where you're going to start your business and lay your foundation. I see too many agents come in 6 months, they're not doing any deals, they move. A year later, they move again. And I'm like, you need to get your feet on the ground and get your foundation before you can make a decision to move to another brokerage.
Right. And when I hear you saying from failure was not an option, you went all in. The mindset behind it, this is it. This is what I need to do to succeed. I have to be committed. I have to be consistent, because consistency is key. You see a lot of in all industry, not just in real estate. Like you mentioned, they're in it for 4 or 5 months, nothing happened. Maybe they move to another brokerage, or they move to another career in general. Oh, this is real estate suck, or they go whatever it is. So I always say the mindset, being consistent. When you show up in life, no matter what you do, things gonna show up for you. So
for sure, people are trusting us with a huge asset. It's the biggest purchase or biggest sale of their life, And if we don't have the education and the confidence to get them to the finish line, like, why would they hire us?
100%.
That's how we earn our commission, is we get the job done.
And you're gonna love it, and you gotta have fun with it. I mean, I'm sure you love what you do. I love
it. Every deal is unique. It's awesome. Every deal is a little bit unique, and every client is a bit unique. And I'm learning all the time.
Yeah.
I'm learning something, even though I've been doing it now for 4 or 5 years, and I have 70 or 80 deals under my belt. I'm always learning and always growing.
It never stops. It never stops. We're always learning. That's how we grow. Otherwise, we'll be stuck and we do not go anywhere.
For sure.
So,
what time do you wake up, Rima? I see your post, like you're exercising at what time?
I get up usually 3:45.
What time?
3:45.
Bravo. I'll tell you, the book that changed my getting up early was The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. And I used to wake up 7 or 8, and this book got me waking up at 6:30. And if you haven't or listened to the audiobook, it's a great resource. It was referred to me by one of my previous brokers. And going to bed in my gym clothes, and it makes me get out the door and get to the gym.
Yeah.
And during quarantine, I'll confess, I put on some weight. And the last month, I've been back in the gym and working out hard, and it just helps your energy. I love working out, and I love to see you working out and riding your bike all over the place. It inspires me.
It's part of what I do. It's part of what I enjoy, and we work hard. And like I said, you have to enjoy the process, and you got to make time for personal stuff and what you love and enjoy the most. And I mean, working out is part of my life. I feel like I tell people it's the part of, like, I eat, sleep, and I work out. There's no way around it. So, but it's been a pleasure having you this morning, Lance. You
Rima,
are amazing.
thank you so much.
Thank you. And if you need anything, buddy, you know where to find me.
For sure.
I know you're busy.
Before I forget, just I had a friend also in the beginning of quarantine. He reached out to me. He lived in Vegas but owned a home in California as well, an investment property. And he said, I've had it listed for like a month or 2, and we can't sell it. Can you give me any advice? I said, cancel your contract, call Rima. And how quick did you sell that house for my friend JJ?
We sold it within 3 weeks in the midst of COVID.
Yeah, it was very early on in COVID.
Yeah.
Thank you for helping him. You were amazing.
Oh, thank you. It's always a pleasure working with you. And same likewise. Any Vegas? Lance is your guy.
If you're planning a trip to Vegas, you can check out Let Loose Vegas on Yelp. And of course, Rima has my contact info if you need anything with real estate.
Yeah, Let Loose Vegas is amazing. That's where you did like that same thing. When was it? Which state we were in?
Let Loose Vegas is my event planning company, and we were in Dallas, and I did a party.
Right.
I'm starting to do networking events for realtors, and building on my Vegas concierge and party planning, and using it, kind of joining my worlds, merging my worlds, and doing events for realtors as well.
So hopefully we can sell more real estate together and let loose in Vegas one of these days.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
See you soon.
Take care, honey.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.